Welcome, race fans, to another live production of the Canadian E-Motorsports Network on YouTube. It's Season 5 of the NASCAR Series, powered by Kyle's Fried Chicken and Barbecue. We're here in Dover, Delaware, at the Monster Mile, aka Dover Motor Speedway, for Round 6 of 22. It is the Forked River 200. And please excuse the fact that it says Dover International Speedway. That is a technical thing. We're at Dover Motor Speedway. That name has been in since 2021, I believe. So it's Dover Motor Speedway. On the call here tonight, as per usual, here throughout the season, Regan McCauley from Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island. That's the voice you're hearing right now from Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island. On the other side, he's been here since the very beginning, on the other side of the country in Alberta, Canada. It is Jordy Carraher. And now you'll get a visual of us here in a second. Yeah, it makes sense on your side.
He has absolutely no relation to the trademark character Miles. He's just observing. Tonight he's kind of shadowing me. Of course, since it's Dover, his name has to be Ben, right? So
something like that.
Just get that joke out of the way right away.
Indeed so. But yes, Jordy and everybody, welcome back to, of course, more Season 5 NASCAR Series action here within the Canadian E-Motorsports Network. Jordy, coming off of last week where we saw hometown hero Jared Ireland, the number 13 Chevrolet, getting the win, his third career win, second at his hometown track at Kansas Speedway in Kansas City, Kansas. His first win of the season, finally breaking some of that bad luck, that early season misfortune that he had at tracks like, Daytona, Las Vegas, and Phoenix. Well, did gain some momentum the previous week at Circuit of the Americas with a top 5 finish. Was able to come around to pretty much his best track on the whole calendar and got the job done, of course. And now he is in the 5th annual Earl Ross Cup Playoffs, the 4th driver to earn a spot with a win, joining Corbin McCauley, Ty Higginbottom, and Jordan Kalinian. So finally for Ireland, breaking that misfortune, and no better place to get it done than his hometown track, which again, as I said, pretty much his best track on the calendar.
Yeah, I mean, it almost felt like inevitable is not quite the right word for it, but if there was anywhere where it was going to happen for Jared Ireland early in the season, absolutely Kansas was where it was going to happen. And again, he started toward the back of the pack. That was something that we talked about quite a bit last week, the ability for drivers to be able to make that charge, and it produced some compelling racing all the way through the field. But yeah, ultimately, one of our championship 4 is found his way back to the playoffs. And I mean, that's the first part of the golden ticket here, right? So a couple months for him to not worry about that side of things, but he'll keep fighting all the way through the end of the regular season. I mean, that's just the nature of who he is as a driver, and goes for the rest of the field as well. Still 10 weeks before playoffs anyway, so lots can happen between now and then.
Indeed so. I mean, if you help me with the math here, what is it? 10 races remaining? 9 or 10 races remaining until
9 after tonight.
Okay, after tonight. So including tonight, 10 races remaining, of course, to decide the other 8 spots in the Earl Ross Cup playoff field for Season 5, of course, again, to join McCauley, Higginbottom, Kalinian, and Ireland. So still time, but at the same time, too, these weeks are flying by, so you'll want to grab that spot. And again, as we eventually talk about the driver's standings, you'll see the battle that we have for that 12th and final spot, because just like last year, it may end up coming down 2 points for those final couple of spots like we saw last season with Jason Butler at Daytona. But before we get into that, we might as well look at the results of the GSGSG Kansas 200. On April 16th, it was round 5 of 22. Jared Ireland getting the win after qualifying in 20th. He didn't even put up a lap quite, frankly. A couple other drivers also as well that did not put in a lap either. But he led 46 of 134 laps, the most out of any driver. Got the win, also got a Stage 1 win in there as well. Corbin McCauley in the number 17 Kawasaki and Dover Motorsports Chevrolet finishing in second after qualifying 10th. He also won a stage as well, and I believe Jordy, get my memory here again, he had another speeding penalty at one point?
It was actually, well, he did, but not only that, he started with an EOL.
And that too,
recall.
yes.
So he was at the back of the field. So like Ireland, similarly made that charge. It was basically the two at the back of the field who made their way up to be the top at the end of the night.
And then there's Adam Wilson, the number 21 Tornado Alley E-Racing Toyota rookie there. Qualified second, finished in third. It's been a hell of a start to his NASCAR Series career so far. As we get into the points, we'll see he made that jump in there as well, returning back to the rookie, the leader in the rookie points. And he's got the best average start out of anybody with 3.8. Which, again, he's been very consistent on that end. Also, finishing-wise as well, being one of 4 drivers with the most top 10s so far this season with 5. Only 4 drivers left with top 10s in every single start. Wilson, the only rookie remaining in that category thus far. It's been, again, a hell of a start to his career so far. Justin Belmonte, the number 6, a former Kansas Speedway winner last year, qualifying 14th, finishing 4th, slowly made his way up to the front. C.D. Magram's consistency continues with a 5th place finish after qualifying 6th. He led 14 laps. We'll go back to Wilson. He led 33 laps. Mike Marini, 6th place with yet again another top 10. He's got 4 top 10s in the first 5 races here thus far. Jason Heaney qualified 19th, but the rookie finished 7th. It was his first career top 10 finish within the NASCAR Series. Ty Higginbottom, Jordan Kalinian leading 16 laps, and Hunter Young rounding at the top 10. Although for Hunter Young, yes, he may have finished in the top 10, but going into tonight at Dover, you care to continue?
We're just straight up not going to see him.
Yeah, no, we're not. Unfortunately, there was a little bit of stuff that happened post-race, which unfortunately has Young suspended for this or tonight's event, unfortunately. So we'll hopefully see him back next week. But moving on from there, Tom Janikowski qualifying an impressive 4th, was able to come home 11th. Again, another top 15 finish, but just still cannot get inside the top 10 just yet. So a little bit of a quiet performer right there. Again, none of those top 10 finishes just yet, but he's getting there very, very close. Trevor Binns, Jason Butler, Kyle Knoll, and then Chase Beatty rounding at the top 15 there. And Chase Beatty, again, making his first start since 2022. Hell of a run there for the number 25. Yes. Ryan O'Toole qualified 5th, and it looked like he had some pretty good pace throughout the race. Again, a rookie that's been struggling so far this season, but tragically, again, with that late caution at the end, just wasn't able to take advantage and be up front there at the end. Mark Ouellette, the final car on the lead lap in 17th. Mason Tomlinson through Charlie Sears, Andy Hurdle, Jose Mercado. A couple of guys who qualified all well, especially Sears, who got his first pole this season, but a lot of them just fell through some misfortune throughout the race, unfortunately, especially Hurdle and Mercado, who were collecting an incident during the race. And now
Mercado was actually a blown engine, if I recall.
Actually, yeah, Mercado was a blown engine. Hurdle was involved in an incident. So was Tomlinson as well. So that right there are the final results from Kansas Speedway. Now we have the driver standings where, again, graphic-wise, it goes off of those that are locked in the playoffs currently. So McCauley, Higginbottom, McCallinian, and Ireland would be kind of the order if you were to take them from the overall points. So in overall points, the top 3 is actually McCauley, Magram, and Higginbottom. Magram still doesn't have a win yet this season, but he is second in points, 20 back of McCauley. Adam Wilson in the overall points moved up 2 positions, so there's now in overall points a tie between him and Higginbottom for 3rd. Jordan Kalinian falling a spot in 5th. A couple jumps for guys like Justin Belmonte and Jared Ireland. And if we look at the playoff cut line, it's still extremely close. Only 2 points back are Janikowski and Tomlinson. Unfortunately, though, Tomlinson's going to have a bit of a fallback tonight as he is not able to show up for tonight's event at Dover Motor Speedway, so that's going to cause him to fall out of the running there for that final spot. But then there's Kyle Knoll, -3, Charlie Sears at -7. Hunter Young's going to have a fallback there as well, which is going to give an advantage to guys like Jason Heaney and Mark Ouellette, especially Heaney if he's able to keep up that momentum from last week with that 7th place finish, of course. And then there's a bunch of other guys that, again, it's not over just yet, but they're really going to have to start, again, attendance-wise, consistent finishes. And quite frankly, they're going to have to probably get a win by the time we go playoff racing for the 5th annual Earl Ross Cup playoffs. And now moving on here to the rookie points standings, where Adam Wilson retakes the lead by, I believe that looks to be, 6 points over Jordan Kalinian, 211 and 205. Wilson, once again, another race where he gets the best finish out of the rookies and is the rookie points leader. Jason Heaney, his first time getting on the weekly graphic here with the second best finish out of the rookies. Trevor Binns and Mason Tomlinson swapping spots there for the 3rd position. Charlie Sears maintains 5th. Jason Heaney, Mark Ouellette swapping 6th and 7th. Ryan O'Toole, Steve Escoffier is still at the bottom. Escoffier hasn't been with us for a couple weeks now. And meanwhile, again, O'Toole, like I said, looked like he had a good pace at Kansas last week, but just wasn't able to have any of that good luck there towards the end.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he'd qualified up toward the head of the field and did grab a stage point in stage 2. But yeah, as you say, just at the end, the finish wasn't necessarily there. But I think some encouraging signs for the 16, our lone West Coast driver in the series out of Portland, Oregon, like you mentioned earlier.
Indeed so, and now finally moving on here from all the action in the GSG Kansas 200 at Kansas Speedway. That was round 5. Moving on now to Dover Motor Speedway, of course, for the Forked River 200. That's going to be round 6 of 22. We're ending off the month here with a couple short tracks, and then going into May, it kind of flip-flops back and forth. Got the road course at Sonoma. We got the quote-unquote half Coke 600 at Charlotte Motor Speedway, back to a short track at Iowa, Nashville Super Speedway, Monza. It just gets crazy from there, Jordy.
Yeah, I mean, I think Kansas was kind of the end of the proverbial honeymoon period for our drivers, and, this is where things really get serious. Now, it's been obviously a little bit of a mix so far, and now throwing quote-unquote short tracks into the mix, I think we're going to see some fireworks here, especially over the next, 6 or 7 weeks, all the way through Monza, even Pocono and Indy tracks we haven't been at in a while. And, a lot of unfamiliarity between now and really the end of the regular season. So, as some would say, business is about to pick up.
Absolutely it is. And you said the term unfamiliar. Unfamiliar. I can't say it.
Unfamiliarity, folks.
Yes, there's going to be a lot of that with a couple of these guys here tonight at Dover Motor Speedway, as quite frankly, the Canadian eMotorsports Network NASCAR Series, powered by Kyle's Fried Chicken and Barbecue, has not run at Dover since 2021, so it's been 3 years since we've had a race here at, as you can see, the Monster Mile in Dover, Delaware. The previous winners at Dover being Jose Mercado and Scott Bailey. Mercado, of course, being the only remaining active driver with a past win at Dover, of course. But Dover, again, known for its extreme corner banking at 24 degrees. It's entirely concrete surface, which explains the white color, which was revamped in 1995 from asphalt. Loose corner exits. A lot of drivers have been talking about that behind the scenes throughout the day today. Very fast straightaways. A very wonky pit entry where the speed on pit road, you're only allowed to go a max 35 miles per hour. So there's a lot of that in place, and like I said, you said that term, Jordy. A lot of unfamiliarity going into tonight for a lot of these guys. Yes,
there you go. Yeah, absolutely. Like, you kind of forget that it's been that long since we've been at Dover, because it feels like a track that just flat out should be part of something like this. But hey, usually they say familiarity breeds contempt. I think unfamiliarity might make that worse by the end of the night, but we'll have to see. It's going to be a hell of a challenge for these drivers. And indeed, it looks like we're going to have about 20 drivers that will take on the Monster Mile Challenge here tonight in the Forked River 200, and one of them being, again,
Like we talked about last week, Chase Beatty making his long-awaited return, of course, after having not raced since 2022 due to, of course, some stuff going on behind the scenes in his personal life. But we've also, this week, 2 weeks in a row, introducing a new driver, well, quote-unquote new driver to the series. This one's a little bit, definitely more of a new situation here. It's Fontaine, is it? That's how he wants it said?
He's said Fontaine or Fountain is fine.
Okay. It looks
thinking Fountain because, you look at it for Bryce Fountain, it looks like Fountain at first. So that was my thought. And, as long as we agree on how to pronounce it, that's the main thing. I'll leave that in your hands.
Yeah. And how would you say Laverge?
Laverne. So
Laverne,
silent
it's Laverne.
G there.
Okay, a lot of silent letters and such in here. But Bryce Fountain joins us from Laverne, Tennessee, in the number 22 BJ Motorsports. I imagine it would be a Ford. You can follow him on Twitch at xsmoofy. He does some iRacing streaming on there. But if we count all the drivers on this season's roster, Fountain joins us as the 24th driver after Beatty was the 23rd. So yet again, another driver coming from Tennessee to join us here in the Canadian Motorsports Network NASCAR Series powered by Kyle's Fried Chicken and Barbecue. It's going to be interesting to see how he's going to do, especially again with his first race here within the series being at all tracks, Dover, which again, we were talking about how unfamiliar it is with a lot of these guys. And again, different circumstances for each driver, but for the series' first race back at Dover since 2021 and the first race on the iRacing platform, it's going to be interesting to see how he does.
That is putting it very lightly. And, it's 20 drivers, you said, here at this point. So, yeah, I think, not a ton of room to operate out there. And, maybe a little bit more potential for things to go wrong given some of its unique tendencies, shall we say. So, yeah, I don't think we're in for, your run-of-the-mill race here tonight.
And another little thing that we might as well shout out here on the stream here, of course. 5 days ago on April 18th, on that day last year, we began the iRacing platform era here within the NASCAR. Well, I mean, quite frankly, within the whole Canadian eMotorsports network, where Justin Belmonte, the number 6 Warrior Racing GTR Ford, got the GTR 250 victory, of course. So it's been just over a year now, Jordy. It's been it's been quite the ride, and time flies by.
It absolutely does, and it's strange not having officially been part of that particular commentary team. I think I had another work commitment that night that kept me away from that, but yeah, it's been a crazy year, pretty much ever since. And just thinking back to, again, the first 2 Dover races being on the Heat consoles and thinking about what it's going to be like now, literally should be night and day. And obviously, it's been a game-changing move for us to come over to the iRacing side of things. And I think it's just onward and upward, quite honestly.
Indeed. So it's been quite the ride. We've really seen how much the Canadian eMotorsports Network has progressed ever since then. The racing product has gotten much more entertaining. The driver parity has been outstanding. Of course, the toll going from console to iRacing, obviously we did lose a couple of drivers who were not able to make the transition over from console to PC. But simultaneously, we were able to gain some pretty good names in exchange, got some great personalities that joined us here within the network, the NASCAR Series, and then the IndyCar/Dart Series whenever we had Season 2 for that, of course. And just being able to, and again, a much more realistic product too, knowing the infamous days of motorsport games and such, and yeah.
Yeah, not really much more that has to be said for that. I mean, I'm glad to have leaderboards, quite frankly, and I can't wait to see what our opening leaderboard looks like. And yeah, that's not a spoiler or anything.
Not anymore.
Anyway, well, I mean, I think you've got to talk to these fellas, don't you?
Okay. It looks like it's actually 21 cars that will be participating tonight, so someone else came in, but I will note, the pole sitter may or may not surprise you. May or may not.
Okay, so it wasn't directly from what everybody saw on the grid?
Not the pole. Yes, you saw him up front, but not on the pole.
Okay, so, well, we'll find out soon enough, folks.
We'll get to that eventually. I'm going to go into race control here, send these guys a quick message, and we'll get these engines fired up for some good old short track racing here at the 1 mile Monster Mile in Dover, Delaware, Dover Motor Speedway. It's the Forked River 200, round 6 of 22 for season 5, coming up next. And so the engines have been fired up here on the pit lane at Dover Motor Speedway. It's time to introduce the starting lineup for the 2024 Forked River 200. And look at this, none other than the number 64 Chevrolet of Darcy Ford on the pole here at Dover in the number 64 519 eRacing Chevrolet from Harrington, Prince Edward Island. It's a pair of Islanders on the front row. Of course, no surprise who is alongside him. It's the number 17 Chevrolet of Corbin McCauley. Moving on now to row number 2, where we have last week's winner at Kansas Speedway, the number 13 Chevrolet of Jared Ireland from Eudora, Kansas. Alongside him, driving for Tornado Alley E-Racing, the consistent rookie, the rookie points leader from Laurel, Delaware. Yeah, Delaware. Now this is his hometown track here. The number 21 of Adam Wilson.
Indeed so. As we move along to the top 5, or rounding out the top 5, I should say, is our COTA winner, the zero, Toyota of Jordan Kalinian, and last week's pole sitter, the number 32 Chevy of Charlie Sears. On his outside, he'll start 6th. On to row 4, where starting in 7th is the number 7 519 Racing Chevy of Andy Hurdle, and he'll have the number 97 Toyota Season 3 Earl Ross Cup champ Ty Higginbotham on his outside. Higgy starts 8th.
Rounding at the top 10, we have the number 6 Ford for Warrior Racing and GTR. It is Justin Belmonte from Pachago, New York. Alongside him, second in the points, still awaiting that first win of the season. It's been a while for him. The number 1 Toyota for Tornado Alley Racing from Atlanta, Georgia. It is CD Magram. Just outside the top 10 in qualifying 11th, we have the number 25 Ford for GTR from Loudon, Tennessee. It is Chase Beatty. Alongside him, looking to, again, get rid of some of that early season misfortune that unfortunately continues for him. The number 16 Chevrolet from Portland, Oregon. It's Ryan O'Toole.
All right, looking on to row 7 now, and starting in 13th will be the number 9 Toyota of Jason Heaney. Again, 13th place start of Altoona, Wisconsin, and he'll have Kissimmee, Florida native Jose Mercado on his outside. The number 41 does a little number reversal. He starts 14th. As we move on to row 8, where we've got the number 33 Toyota of Trevor Binns out of Winter Haven, Florida, starting in 15th, and we head right back to the state of Cheeseheads, where we find the number 93 Chevy of Tom Janikowski. He will start 16th, and Tommy joins us out of Appleton, Wisconsin.
Row 9, starting 17th, the number 12 Toyota of Mike Marini from Thunder Bay, Ontario, looking to keep up his top 10 momentum as of recently. Alongside him, the number 15 Toyota of Kyle Knoll for Storm Surge Esports from Wendell, North Carolina. He's had a little bit of unfortunate luck recently. He looks to avenge that here tonight at Dover Motor Speedway, and might as well round out the rest of the field, where we have in row 10, starting 19th out of 21 cars, it's the number 22 Chevrolet for Bryson Jim Motorsports from Laverne, Tennessee. Welcome to the Canadian E-Motorsports Network to Bryce Fountain. Alongside him, the number 80 Toyota for Koopa's Racing from Georgina, Ontario. It is Mark Ouellette. And to round out the field, we have the number 10 Chevrolet for 519E Racing from London, Ontario, Jason Butler. Any thoughts?
Well, pretty full field here, obviously, and yeah, just had to think it through in my head. So that puts us at Escoffier, Young, and Tomlinson missing out here tonight. So 21 out of 24, all things considered, not too shabby here, and it should produce some very entertaining racing, especially considering some of the names at the head of the field.
Tonight's race analysis, 200 laps here tonight at Dover. 60 laps, stages 1 and 2 each. Final stage will be 80 laps. Pit road speed at 35 miles per hour. The fuel window, about 38 to 44 laps. So we will definitely just past the halfway point of stage 1 see these cars come down for green flag pit. Well, again, as I say that, when all the drivers were joking around behind the scenes about this being a caution fest, which I may have just jinxed it a second time right there. So we'll just have to wait and see.
Reverse jinx, maybe?
Maybe yeah, jinxed it and then I reverse jinxed it. Who knows?
All right, let's see how aggressive this pace car is going to be. That's something we've noticed. Okay, not bad, not bad.
So Darcy Ford and Corbin McCauley, the two PEI drivers, will start this race on the front row, leading the field to the green flag. Ladies and gentlemen, the pros.
Yeah, pretty clean, or pretty solid start at the front row on both sides here, Reeves, as we get the leaderboard up right about now. No, I swear I wasn't stalling.
McCauley will lead the first lap of 200. So far, so good throughout the field. Very spaced out to begin.
Yeah, it looked like after a relatively even start from Ford and McCauley, the 17 just found another gear on that back straight. Look at the gap he's pulled.
Already nearly half a second. As they're battling side by side here. It's Charlie Sears and Justin Belmonte going at it. Bryce Fountain looking to make his way up. He's currently now in the 18th position, chasing after Mike Marini. Jason Butler and Mark Ouellette swapping spots towards the back. But yeah, the 17 is already marching his way forward.
Just dropping the hammer here. Second place finish last week, of course, the 2 wins before that. And, you know, trying to further assert his dominance here.
Jordan Kalinian falling back on the outside through 3 and 4. He will get in behind Adam Wilson. The number 21 up to the 4th position. Trevor Binns and Chase Beatty side by side for 14th. Binns will take the advantage. Janikowski to the inside now, looking for that 15th spot on lap 5. He will clear the way. It's pretty much single file throughout the field here, besides this. Almost. Marini tries to go for it.
Yeah, and a little bit of early math for the folks at home. Obviously, the 3 drivers missing. That gives us 21 in the field. Minimum 16 points for each driver here tonight, just based on our point system, which does mirror NASCAR, and that's even before factoring in stages. So that means you will see a minimum 2 position drop for Hunter Young and a minimum of, let's see, 4 positions here for Mason Tomlinson with their respective absences here tonight.
You see how fast these cars are going down the straightaways into the corners. Again, a short track, but still wicked fast racing that we have here at Dover Motor Speedway. Adam Wilson overtaking Jared Ireland for the 3rd position.
Well, what else is new? Just model of consistency here so far out of our kind of first-year drivers. I would say, you know, that's been his hallmark. Yeah, Jordan Kalinian's had some things go on, and that win, but Adam Wilson, it just seems like he's always been there, you know, and I think it's just a matter of time before he starts knocking on the door of the top step of the podium.
Lots of close racing going on back here near the bottom of the top 10. Charlie Sears in 7th. Justin Belmonte makes the dive down low down the back straightaway. CD Magram, Ty Higginbottom, pair of Tornado Alley E-Racing Toyotas battling for 9th to 10th there. Jason Heaney looking to make his way up into the top 10, looking to keep up that momentum as we were talking about in the pre-race show last week at Kansas, finishing in 7th. But look at that run from Kyle Knoll on the high side.
Yeah, trying to find an option here is the 15, and yeah, it seems like he got the right lane that time around, and yeah, made it look relatively easy, quite honestly.
Over 10 laps into this Forked River 200, Corbin McCauley still leading the way. I mean, look at that distance right there. Almost a second now. About 5 laps ago or so, it was almost half a second, like pretty much 3 laps into this one.
Yeah, I mean, it goes back to what we've been talking about before, as he's set to make his real-life short track debut here relatively soon, I believe. So just getting into that mindset, it certainly seems like, you know, he's got a good handle on things, at least so far.
It'll certainly be interesting for him when that transition from the sim racing platform to the real-life racing comes around, when the Oysterbed Speedway season begins on Sunday, May 19th. Just under a month away now from that local action here on Prince Edward Island. So if you're within the Maritimes, you're on PEI, come out and watch the action. Come out and watch Corbin McCauley make his real-life racing debut at the High Banked Oval in Oysterbed Bridge, about 15-20 minutes north of capital city Charlottetown. And we'll certainly have highlights up on Oysterbed Speedway social media pages as well. He'll be sporting a bit of a similar scheme here as you see with Boulder Motorsports and Kawasaki on the Chevrolet. Bit of a
boy, look at this.
Yeah, a bit of a pack going at it towards the back of the field here. Like you see Bryce right there going into turn 3, and then you got this kind of a whole pack going down the back straightaway.
Hey, nothing wrong with that at all. I mean, one of the things that we've kind of enjoyed on the NASCAR Series side of things is that it seems like there is competition for everybody, no matter where you happen to be in the field.
Top positions continuing to remain the same. Darcy Ford still hanging on to second. Behind him, just over half a second back, Adam Wilson looking to catch up and continue his pace. making his way up from qualifying in 4th. And not a whole lot of changes up from qualifying, except a couple little swaps. But other than that, pretty much just exact same, at least so far, but still pretty early here within stage 1. It'll certainly get interesting if the green flag is still out by the time we get to that first green flag pit window.
Yeah, I was going to say, relatively calm, unassuming start to this one. Again, it feels like chaos could literally be around any turn here at Dover, especially, we haven't been here in 3 years. We haven't been here on this particular game either. Still lots of variables in play and still lots of time for things to get sorted out.
I mean, I remember too last week at Kansas, what was it? Like we had the whole first stage go caution free, and then stage 2 onward was just pretty much an all-out melee.
There were definitely a few things that happened after that opening stage. Yeah, I think that's a good way of putting it, as Sears tucks back in.
Sears falling back from, I believe, 7th, so something must have happened there about a lap or so ago. Maybe take a look at the replay here and see what may have happened. Just a bit of a wash-up, potentially. Yeah, that looks like that's about it.
Yeah, just pretty subtle touch by the looks of it, but short track, mistakes kind of get magnified here.
As Sears is really falling back now, all the way back to 12th, as Jason Heaney, Kyle Knoll both taking advantage of him now in lap 22.
Yeah, and that's, obviously not what he would have wanted to see. I believe he said a 60-lap opening stage. You wouldn't think it would be, tires going off a cliff here that early.
Well, this stage is certainly flying by pretty quickly as we are... Oh, there was contact there between Binns and Sears. As, look at this up here. Quite the battle going on for the second position. Wilson caught up to Ford and has now passed him for the second spot. Looking to earn yet again another podium finish. And then Ireland Kalinian going at it for 4th.
Yeah, really, you could throw a blanket over 2 through 5. Though not really a whole lot to choose between this particular quartet. Although, as I say that, Wilson starts to pull away a little bit.
And Macaulay has certainly continued to pull away as he's now almost 2 seconds ahead of everybody else.
Well, I mean, everybody else is fighting each other, right? So Corbin Macaulay, he'll say, thank you very much.
Well,
I'll take that open track.
Well, of course, all that battling is going to... Yeah, of course, all that battling is going to slow them down, and with that 17 just, I guess, quote-unquote, no man's land there all the way ahead of everybody else on his own, that's just going to speed him up way more. As Ireland's now going to go at it for the 3rd spot to try and get on the podium here, side by side with the 64 through 3 and 4. Ford's going to drop in behind. Ireland to 3rd. Kalinian will now look to make the jump on the 64.
Yeah, I thought he might have tried it coming out of that turn, but I mean, with Kalinian's iRating, he's got a little bit more patience, and I think he might have a bit of a window on this high line coming into the turn. And yeah, it looks like the leaderboard reflects a move, and there it is for your very eyes.
Number 0 to 4th. And then mostly spread the rest of the way. Heaney and Binns going at it for 11th. Charlie Sears has fallen back to 13th after qualifying 6th. Might be, I would speculate, maybe using up the tires just a little too much. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, anything from our side of things is pure speculation. Really, the only data we have available, or for me anyway, the only data I've got is the leaderboard I'm seeing. Not sure if you're able to see a little more telemetry on your side, but obviously, Sears has, taken a little bit of a tumble here, and the numbers bear that out.
Side by side for 15th, Jason Butler will take the 15th position away from Fontaine. Mike Marini is also going to take advantage as well. It looks like Belmonte just jumped. Huh?
No, I was just going to say, it has to be said, pretty solid climb there from Jason Butler as well. Again, started at the very back of the pack, so that's, what, a 6th place jump for him up to 15th now. So, decent start here for the number 10.
And the number 10 carrying the Forked River scheme, the title sponsor, of course, for tonight's event here at Dover Motor Speedway. I'll look at the schedule here and see when they will be sponsoring us here once again. Give them a bit of a spotlight, of course. They will be back with us on June 11th at Pocono Raceway for the second and final time this season. And I believe we should also note as well for that race at Pocono, what is that going to be now? What someone said behind the scenes, that's going to be a milestone in the NASCAR series, I believe.
Yes, sir. We're hitting triple digits that night. That is our 100th race spectacular on the NASCAR side.
So we'll definitely want to celebrate that once that day comes around. So remember, on June 11th, it'll be yet again the Forks River 200 at Pocono Raceway. It'll be the first time the NASCAR Series goes there on the iRacing platform. We did go there back in Season 2 last year for the IndyCar/Dart Series. So we'll again. Contact between Butler and Mercado. What a save from the number 10. He was sideways going into the corner. He keeps it straight.
Yeah, but it ultimately looks like it might have cost him a position or perhaps even 2. But in the short term, that's not the worst thing, as long as he's able to hang around in the long term. Yeah, and just to go back to the Pocono points, yeah, we're saying race 100 on the NASCAR side of things. We haven't been there since season 1. It might be heat 4.
Oh, jeez.
The last time we raced at Pocono. So, not yesterday, folks.
So it looks like Kyle Knoll actually went to pit road. I believe he got a 9.6 time there. We did miss that, so as now Darcy Ford's going to make his way down pit road. So indeed, we have entered the pit window, thankfully under the green flag.
Yeah, now it just forces a little bit more action and guesswork here from the drivers. Obviously, you know, pitting under caution, it takes a little bit of that out because you're not losing as much time, obviously. But Ford, he's got that long old crawl to his pole sitter pit box.
He's going to go for the right side tires. We'll see if that number 64 Piping Kettle Supco Chevrolet will go for all 4. Indeed he will. So 4 tires and fuel for the pole sitter. And again, should be noted.
Go ahead.
It should be noted with that 35 miles per hour pit road speed limit, with how slow it is going down pit road and how fast everyone is on the track, you'll definitely not want to make a mistake, because that's only going to put you many more laps down with how short of a circuit this is. And you go ahead, Jordy.
I was going to say, if we're talking about Kyle Knoll having only taken what we think like a 9.6 second stop, he would have had to only have taken 2 tires, no?
Indeed, so only about half the time there as Ireland heads down pit road. Might have been a little bit of a Close call there with some cars behind him. Again, there was some controversy behind the scenes whether drivers would enter pit road by slowing down on the backstretch into 3, or would slow down through 3 and 4 and just have their fingers crossed that a car would not slam into the back of them.
Yeah, and you see Macaulay also in pit lane coming in from the race lead. Ireland must be wondering, geez, it's been a little while since I've actually seen him just because of the way he jumped out.
Now, I should note, too, before they came down pit road, Ireland was like 7/10 back of the 17. Like, I think that means he was catching them. Maybe.
Now, would that have been the 17 slowing down to get into pit roads? Which,
or maybe that.
Not always the easiest thing if we're gonna do it in an entirely not teasing manner.
Gonna get a replay on this too, because the 17 and the 13 both going for the right sides. But Ireland only took 2 tires and fuel on that stop. Macaulay taking 4, so we'll definitely have to keep an eye on that one.
Okay, yeah, showtime. We figured that Dover would offer some surprises, and hey, some strategic curveballs are never a bad thing.
So Adam Wilson on pit road, I believe. Trying to see who's back there. That'd be Bryce. Okay, that's Bryce Fontaine.
Yeah, you got a pretty good collection of cars here on pit road, and as that group was assembling, Jordan Kalinian was making his way out.
Just gonna get a replay here to see what some of these guys decided to do. Wilson looks like he's going for just fuel? Huh.
Very interesting. Be curious to see how that lines up, and maybe you take the pain now of getting the that one set of tires through the opening stage. That way, maybe you've got something extra for the end. I know some guys were talking about that.
Yeah, a couple guys, as a matter of fact, deciding to not bother with fresh tires, just fuel. So it'll definitely be interesting to see how some of these guys go through. I'm looking at some of these other pit stop times here on my leaderboard, where Ireland 9 seconds, Macaulay 14.5, Kalini and Belmonte both at just under 7. Jason Butler's now on pit road by the looks of it. Indeed. Higginbottom also making his way down. That is also the number 16 of Ryan O'Toole. So definitely.
All right, let's go for a little bit of a field shuffle here, Riggs. Let's see how everything kind of shakes out here after a few different pit stop strategies deployed. Let's see who's doing what.
I think Janikowski might have had some issues getting into his pit box properly, as he becomes a ghost there for a second.
Yeah, he's done that a couple of times, so not unprecedented.
There's Chase Beatty. So 10 laps to go in stage 1. The leader being none other than, again, as we said, as I was talking in the pre-race show, the only remaining active driver to have a win at Dover in the past. He won the inaugural race back in 2020 on, it was NASCAR Heat 4 to start off, and then it went to Heat 5, correct?
Yeah.
Indeed, so definitely a different environment here for the number 41 being on iRacing instead, but so far so good. He qualified 14th, so again, plenty of time to kind of maybe shake things up and make his way up through the field, as actually, as a matter of fact, that the opposite's going to happen, is he's going to make his pit stop now with 9 laps to go, which is going to give the race lead to the number 13. Which again, reminder, Ireland only went for the right sides. McCauley went for all four. We might have a race to the green checkered flag here.
Yeah, and the fact that the gap is only, as small as it is, like, we saw it with McCauley and Belmonte in stage 2 last week, I believe, at Kansas. The 4 fresh tires, those, they had an advantage there. Obviously, Dover has its unique characteristics, but we'll see how Ireland's able to navigate these last few laps before our scheduled caution.
Mercado's going to come back out, still in the lead lap in 12th. Ford and Kalinian are going to fight for the 4th spot. A battle of, again, only one stage point per the driver in the top 10. Ford's going to get past the lap car Chase Beatty, who came out of that pit window in 16th. Not too shabby to see the number 15 of Kyle Knoll up in the 3rd position. It's been a bit of a rough, I guess kind of a sophomore slump for him if I look in these statistics so far. Well, an average start of 14th, an average finish of only 13.6 on the season so far. He only has one top 10, which that finish was 9th at Daytona. Other than that, 2 top 15s. He's qualified once inside the top 10. Not exactly characteristic on the NASCAR side from last season, I guess maybe pace-wise.
Yeah, but tonight, it seems like Knoll, at least strategically, has things right to start. If you recall, I think he was the very first guy to come into pit lane.
Yes.
I think we noted at the time that he only took 2 tires, so it's a question now of whether he's able to hang on for the last 3.5 laps until the end of the stage here and, grab himself some pretty good stage points that, considering he's presently on the outside looking in playoff-wise, he'll want those.
And there'll be a massive advantage for him, too, knowing, again, a guy like Mason Tomlinson is not here, and he's right on that cut line, tied with him for 13th. So, no...
Yeah, absolutely. That jump is, every point's important. How many times do we have to say it?
And Knoll is 6 seconds ahead of Ford, so 3rd is pretty much well in his hands here if he can make it to the end. Meanwhile, for Jared Ireland and Corbin McCauley, Ireland keeps stretching out that lead. It's now almost 2 seconds. So the number 13 is coming to the white flag here for stage 1. Again, the winner from, close call right there with Higginbottom coming off of 4, but white flag in stage 1 for the number 13, who again won last week at Kansas Speedway. We'll see here if he's able to get back-to-back race victories. In terms of stages, it'll be back-to-back stage 1 wins for Jared Ireland. So coming off of 4, there's the stage checker flag, Jared Ireland.
And for the 13, that is stage win number 3 of the season, of course, not counting the victory last week.
Kyle Knoll 3rd, Darcy Ford 4th, McCauley was 2nd, Kalinian 5th, Justin Belmonte 6th, Andy Hurdle 7th, Adam Wilson 8th, Magrum 9th, and it looks like Ty Higginbottom will round out the top 10. And there's the caution.
Yeah, fairly, straightforward opening stage. I think for all the demons maybe that we were expecting to come out, they've stayed quiet for now.
Yeah, those are the deadly words, for now.
Yep. And for Darcy Ford, it should be noted, 4th place finish in the stage. He didn't race last week, so those 7 points are crucial for a guy that, he fell to 11th in the standings as a result of missing out on last week. But, any little bit that he can claw back, and, that's one of his better stage finishes of the year. A couple of 3rd places in there. But, yeah, 7 points. You take absolutely everything you can get, like we were just talking about.
Still a decent margin over the cut line still, and again, too, with a couple missing guys, he'll still have kind of an advantage there to keep himself within the playoff grid.
Oh, absolutely. I'm just thinking, like, again, that's not an insignificant chunk of points, because if you think of, potential stage and overall finish implications, I think he's probably good for 30 to 35 in a week. At least, if not 40.
So we'll see what some of these guys decide to do here under this stage caution. McCauley and Ireland both going for 4 tires. Darcy Ford is going to go for 4, so haha, Ford 4, what the heck.
That. Fun fact, 4 cubed is 64, so there's your math lesson for the night, folks.
Might as well do a quick replay and just kind of review some of these guys' other pit stops. So Magrum went for 4. I believe Belmonte went for 4. I heard something on the other side of my wall.
Well, I don't see any Facebook chatter yet, so nothing immediately discouraging.
Might be just something to do with that pit stop itself, nothing negative.
Yeah, hopefully it's just, everybody keeping things smart here, at least to start in this particular window.
Okay, yeah, I see what's up here. Yeah, the lap down cars. Or just a bunch of other ones. However you put it.
Wow, and in all caps, he's really annoyed by that.
Well, now you're getting it. It's still on. Got 2 and 4 tires for most of those guys. I'd imagine we're going to be going back.
Like O'Toole might have gotten a bit of a jump.
Even though he's unfortunately 6 laps down.
Okay, yeah, that's a variable.
Mercado dropping a couple spots. I wonder if maybe there was a penalty there. Be unsure of that. But everybody double file here for this restart here in stage 2. And I believe according to the math, that's going to be 53 laps to go.
Yeah, if we're looking at 60, 60, 80 breakdown, that sounds about right.
So it'll be Ireland and McCauley side by side on the front row. Kalini in 3rd, Kyle Noel 4th, Justin Belmonte and Darcy Ford. Row 3. Ryan O'Toole 6 laps down, but he's kind of mid-pack right there. The pace car rolls off. It's time to get underway with stage 2. The middle stage here at the Monster Mile. Green flag.
And it looked like Ireland, it definitely wasn't a straight line off of that restart for the 13. So I wonder if, well, yeah, we've seen Corbin McCauley jump up into the lead straight away, but are we looking at a significant gap, or, Ireland has fallen like a stone here off this restart?
Yeah, Kalina and Noel have really taken advantage of him right there as they're side by side. Wilson and Belmonte almost three wide going into 1. Bit of a slide there from the 21. He's able to keep it down on the inside. Ireland clears the way in front of him. Oh no, Ireland dropping down.
Yeah, he's going into pit lane. I think.
Restart violation is my speculation.
I mean, we saw it last week with Charlie Sears, so would not be unheard of. Yeah, I imagine we'll get an answer in some form.
Yeah, I'm going to assume it's just a drive-through, so yeah, definitely what we were speculating.
Yeah, that's all it could have been, and what are we looking at ramifications-wise? 1 lap or 2?
That's going to put him 1 lap down.
Because obviously right at the start of the stage, this goes down. I mean, the nature of restarts, of course. But yeah, obviously everyone getting up to speed at that point. And, yeah, Jared Ireland just maybe a little bit too trigger happy on that particular occasion, and yeah, has to pay the price for it.
Side by side for 8th between, trying to figure this out actually. Yeah, so Heaney making the jump. I am getting very confused with some of these positions here. Okay, it looks like a couple of guys are a lap down, so trying to figure that out. Just kind of a couple jostling all over the place, but some guys are a lap down, so Ford is 9th, but there's a couple of guys here in the front of him that are 1 lap down. That's Heaney, Binns, Mercado's in there. Higginbottom is 8th right there, and then there's Ford there in 9th. So that kind of clears things up just a little bit. Bryce Fontaine 1 lap down, currently in 14th. Not too shabby of a debut for him so far.
Yeah, and I mean, he's a guy that he admitted himself. He's only been on the iRacing platform for about a year, I believe. So much like us, still kind of in the process of figuring it all out. But hey, he's keeping things clean to this point in the evening. So hey, kudos to him.
Number 17 leading the way by almost a second here. A familiar competitor behind him, the rookie Jordan Kalinian. Remember their battles back at Phoenix.
And Coda.
And that too, yes. So some familiarity again with some, again, short track action, but then, of course, back on the road course at Circuit of the Americas. Kyle Knowles still holding firm in 3rd. Adam Wilson trying to catch his way up. Looks like he's starting to slowly gain on him, but 410's back of him. Magram, Belmonte. Oh, side-by-side action right there, even though Belmonte is on the lead lap. Heaney and Binns get ahead of him, still 1 lap down, though.
I thought there might have even been a little bit of a touch between Heaney and Belmonte there, and I mean,
a little.
Nope, just let's continue on. I had something, but let's continue on.
But in all of that, Higginbottom overtook Hurdle in that lap traffic chaos. So swapping 7th and 8th. Higginbottom's gonna try to march his way up towards Belmonte for the 6th position, so number 6 and 6. Now on lap 79 of 200. 21 laps to go until halfway through this 2024 Forked River 200. Mike Marini overtakes Bryce Fontaine for the 14th position.
Yeah, been a relatively quiet night here for Marini so far, but nice to see him, have everything pointed in the right direction here. And again, a guy that, if everything goes right, he does have speed, and I mean, he's still comfortably in the playoff picture right now in 9th, but yeah, still a long way to go before we get to the playoffs. But hey, encouraging signs for the 12 to this point in the season.
And again, this race is not even close to over just yet. So far, drivers' expectations have definitely gone different, whether they were joking or not. But, yeah, I mean, again, too, Marini with 4 top 10s and 5 starts so far. If it's not able to be a top 10, then at least he can still try to bring the car home in a clean slate. Which, again, that's all that matters the most, especially with some of these unfamiliar circuits here. Within the NASCAR Series, powered by Kyle's Fried Chicken and Barbecue on iRacing. Jared Ireland trying to make his way past a bunch of guys here while 1 lap down. He's going to get past Janikowski and Fontaine. He moves up to 15th.
All right, and the damage control begins here for the 13.
8/10 separating the 17 and the 0 for the race lead. Noel still holding firm in third, then Wilson, Magram. Belmonte trying to still keep ahead of Higginbottom for the 6th spot. But 3-4 tenths or so separating them.
And it feels like a good chunk of the field settling into a little bit of a rhythm here. Again, maybe a little bit unexpected considering, pre-race expectations from pretty much the top down, honestly. But yeah, once you get into a rhythm, just tick off the laps, away you go. Makes it a more, enjoyable evening.
Although, tragically, the pattern in past races, the past season, though, has been that if the first 2 stages are relatively clean and have a good rhythm going, stage 3, get your popcorn out, buckle your seatbelts, but, again, as long as this rhythm keeps going, we'll be just fine. Now on lap 87 at 200, as Jose Mercado brushed the wall coming off a 2. He's currently in the 12th spot. He's going to
well, I was about to say that might not last, but then looks like there's probably a lap gap between himself and Hurdle there.
Chase Beatty's going to try and take the 12th spot from him. Both cars 1 lap down. Beatty will take it. It's pretty solid speed here from the guy who, again, just came back to the series last week at Kansas, finished 15th. Looking to maybe progress his way up to a potential top 10 as long as he's able to get back on the lead lap. We'll have to wait and see when this next green flag pit window comes around.
Yeah, I mean, all anyone can ask for whenever you're kind of getting back into the swing of things, consistency, and like I said a minute ago, just being able to turn the laps. Like, something to be said for just kind of making that happen, getting yourself back into that groove, and then once you're in that place, then the speed will come.
Magram closing in on his teammate Wilson for the 4th spot. Almost 3 tenths separating them. As there's the first car, or actually the second car to come down pit road. Although Jason Butler might be in a weirder situation.
I was going to say, we haven't seen anything on track there, but certainly a prolonged instance in pit lane here for the 10.
Oh,
there's a brush.
not ideal.
Not at all.
C.D. Magram's now going to come down pit road. I can only imagine with Jason Heaney's time, he more than likely took 4 tires.
Yeah, that would seem to be the pattern here, if it's anything in the double digits.
And that is correct, so we'll get back to live action. C.D. Magram also going to go for 4 tires and fuel. Mike Marini's down pit road.
Yeah, so in stage 1, we saw Kyle Knoll come in significantly early, and he wound up 3rd in the stage. So I wonder if maybe there is a little bit of an undercut play here for C.D. Magram. He came in from 5th, so we'll see if him coming in maybe a couple laps ahead of those he was chasing, we'll see if that pays dividends at the end of the stage.
Here comes Kyle Knoll, who slowed down on the back stretch, went on the apron to get to pit road, so
almost came to a full stop.
Potentially a wonky pit entry, though, regardless, as Bryce Fontaine makes his way out of his box. More than likely 4 tires with that 14-second stop. Extreme
like pretty
close-up.
Standard service. Hey, I mean, let's get to know the driver a little bit, right? Nothing wrong with a little close-up on his debut.
Face-to-face personal space.
Absolutely.
I became Dr. Seuss there for a second.
You did, but what Kyle Knoll appears to have become is penalized. He's still in.
Macaulay and
Pure
Kalinian.
Speculation, of course.
Macaulay makes his way down. Kalinian already has. We'll see what he decides to do. Kalinian's going to go for all 4. There's a couple, there's a bunch of other guys there. Mercado, Binns, Knoll, as I was talking about. See what the 17 decides to do. Fuel only.
Yeah, this is still an extended stop for the 15 here, though. I wonder if there's something more underlying there. There almost has to be now, no?
Yeah, well over 70 seconds now in his box. Now he's going to make his way out. Butler's going to let him go.
Is this Butler himself emerging from pit lane? Because he was in for an extended period as well.
Yeah, they both are emerging. And now here comes Jared Ireland.
All right, so it'll be interesting to get to the bottom of some of that.
Officially halfway now through the Fork to River 200 here at Dover Motor Speedway. 101 of 200, now 102 as Adam Wilson's going to lead a lap. We'll see what Ireland decides to do as Chase Beatty makes his way out of his box. Ola Ouellette also did a couple seconds ago. Ireland's going to go for just fuel. That's probably the shortest stop we've had today.
Well, I mean, we observed that he only took the 2 tires in his stage 1 green flag stop, so why not try something a little bit different this time around if it's still comfortable, still, riding as expected? No need to, reinvent the wheel here, for lack of a better phrase.
Tom Janikowski now down pit road as Adam Wilson continues to lead the way. About a 10th or so ahead of Justin Belmonte. 5 cars left on the lead lap.
Probably fair to take a wild stab that those 5 have yet to come into pit lane.
Yes, sir.
There we go. So, yeah, still a little bit of a balancing act that needs to happen within the field itself. And certainly none of them have a big enough gap to, be able to come out in their current positions. So, seems like pitting a little bit earlier, that seems to be the way to go. Especially if you consider Mangrum, he'll wind up a net 3rd in all this after he came in relatively early compared to everybody else. so he'll grab a couple of spots here, it would appear.
Battle for the lead between two cars that still have yet to come down pit road. That is the 21 and the 6. Janikowski comes back out 4 laps down. He's in 18th. Higginbottom and Ford will be going at it for 3rd. Wilson drops back in behind Belmonte, so new race leader.
Yeah, Wilson not coming in just yet.
McCauley almost 2 seconds ahead of Jordan Kalinian, so whenever all these other 5 cars, I would imagine, will come down pit road, those 2 will be going for the stage win. Unless somebody decides to come up with an interesting strategy to collect some stage points.
Yeah, it feels like it would be a little bit of a stretch to expect any of these 5 to try and stretch their tires through this stage without pitting. Plus, fuel windows may not allow that either.
Oh man, Kalinian gets past McCauley.
Oh. Okay, so you said a minute ago there was a 2-second gap. What happened?
So we'll get a replay here to see if we can catch. Oh yeah, the 17 had a moment there off of 4, got really loose. And then Kalinian gets right by him.
Going into 1. Yeah, there's that bit of a skew out of 4, like you said.
And again, too, Kalinian got the tires there on that stop. McCauley, on the other hand, different stop, so.
Yeah, this is where it might come back to bite him.
So yeah, now actually it does make perfect sense why that all happened right there, so.
Meanwhile, 4 of the 5 that we were expecting in pit lane, all 5 now are in pit lane now. Belmonte already out.
So we'll catch the replay here of everybody coming down pit road. And we'll just see what these guys decide to do. Or decided to do, I should say. You can see Sears going for the right sides there. Belmonte looks like he went for just fuel. Higginbottom as well. Yeah, it's pretty much all fuel stops from what I can tell by these numbers.
Well, I mean, we're talking numbers. We're what? Oh, O'Toole into the wall.
Potentially close call there.
Yeah, we're into the single digits before the end of stage 2. So, yeah, I could see these guys just trying to hang on here.
It's now 7 laps to go for the 0. Whoa, loose moment right there coming off of 4. What a save there by Kalinian. There's been a couple of guys here tonight that have had a couple moments. We saw earlier between Butler and Mercado with contact going into turn 1. And a wicked save from the 10, so now the 0 gets some action right there.
Well, again, he literally just benefited from Corbin McCauley doing the same thing on the low line out of 4, which
on the
gave
way worse
him
tires,
the net, which is now official race lead. So, yeah, anybody can fall victim to that here. You're seeing it before your very eyes.
And because of that stop, McCauley's fallen back to 3rd, CD Magrum taking the advantage with the fresher tires into 2nd place. But 4 seconds back of the 0, so pretty much unless complete catastrophe happens here, Kalinian is more than likely well on his way to what would be his 3rd stage win of the season so far. has 2 of them. You got stage wins back at Las Vegas and at Phoenix.
Indeed so.
So Kalinian's going to get past Ford and put him a lap down.
That's the beauty of short tracks, isn't it? Only 7 drivers on the lead lap at this point.
Indeed, and we'll be seeing that with NASCAR. Let me see here. The NASCAR Cup and Xfinity Series in real life are both going to be at Dover Motor Speedway this weekend. Again, too, with the distance that we're running here is pretty much half of that, half of what the Cup Series does. So it'll be intriguing to see.
Look at us giving a bit of an opening act.
Yeah, we're kind of, again, we do half the distance of the Cup races, and we'll be seeing full proof of that with the Half Coke 600 at Charlotte Motor Speedway whenever May comes around, which the official title for that is going to be the Piping Kettle 300 on May 14th. And we remember how last year...
Whoa. Back up. Was that Mangrum or Knoll heading into pit lane again? Caught that at the bottom of the screen.
Yeah, Knoll did, but anyways, that is the stage checker flag anyways for Jordan Kalinian in stage 2. Mangrum 2nd, McCauley 3rd, Belmonte 4th, looks like Wilson 5th, Higginbottom 6th, Andy Hurdle 7th, Ford looks like he's going to get 8th. Jason Heaney and Jared Ireland are going to come around for 9th and 10th. Yeah, there's the caution. So that's your top 10 for stage number 2. And yeah, as you were saying there, yeah, Kyle Knoll did make his way on the pit. I wonder, is that something I see on the right side there?
It definitely looks like a bit of a scuff, yeah? And if I can see that through potato vision, that means something almost definitely happened.
So Kalinian with his 3rd stage win of the season. Yeah, Knoll coming down pit road for unknown reasons. So all 7 cars on the lead lap make their way down now. The lap cars will come around next time by. See what these guys decide to do on these pit stops.
Yeah, we'll see what everybody's kind of got in reserve strategy-wise here, as it looks like that was Kalinian getting out first.
Kalinian got 4 tires on that stop. Yeah, pretty much everybody went for 4 tires, I can imagine. Well, yeah, pretty much everyone had like a 14.
Ford might have done something different. Okay, or no, he hasn't come into pit lane yet. Never mind.
No, he's...
Right, I forgot he was a lap down.
Yeah, again, the lap cars are now going to be coming down, but yeah, it looks like all the lead lap cars there did take 4 tires. I mean, that makes perfect sense, as we'll be likely getting just, I would imagine, one more green flag pit window. Again, though, we've seen the trend in past races in the past season where the first 2 stages go just fine. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, I mean, this is where guys start to push a little more. Last stage is, of course, 20 laps longer. So you gotta have to think a little bit more about, your mileage, your conservation. At minimum, you would think everyone's coming in for 4 tires and fuel in that one green flag pit stop or whenever we happen to have it.
So look, most cars going for 4 tires there, although again, a lot of the cars one or multiple laps down. Might be going through some other stuff as well. Could be damage repairs, penalties, could be anything like that. So again, only the top 8 on the lead lap. Looks like Darcy Ford's gotten himself back.
Well, that'd be old lucky dog syndrome, no?
I would imagine.
Yeah, because he certainly was the first car to be a lap down. So that checks out.
Man, Kyle Noah was up there like top 3. Now he's 6 laps down.
Yeah, something strange happened in stage 2, and usually when you say something like that, that means the Ghostbusters aren't far away, but yeah, he made the brilliant strategy call in stage 1 to come in way earlier than anybody else. But yeah, it seems like it's all come unraveled for the 15.
So it's going to be 73 laps of green flag racing to the checkered flag, with Kalini and Mangrum on the front row for this restart. Who the heck knows if this is going to be the final one? Macaulay Belmonte, row 2. Adam Wilson rounding at the top 5. Alongside him is his teammate Ty Higginbottom. So again, it's going to see if we're going to have another Tornado Alley takeover here at the front. But here we go. One final stage to decide it all. Who will be the winner of the Forked River 200 here at Dover Motor Speedway? Kalinian takes the green flag. Big jump from him. The top 2 are going to clear the way as everybody else still remains relatively almost double file.
Yeah, and it looks like Kalinian got away cleanly there. It doesn't look like he was inflicted with the restart violation we saw out of Jared Ireland. Thank you for going to him as I was talking about him.
Well, actually,
but,
I went to Mercado because he got in the wall.
Well, I mean, misfortune for both of them at different points here in the evening. But yeah, just seems like Kalinian got away cleanly, and you know, that's all you can ask for whenever you're effectively in control of the field.
Wilson takes over the 3rd position over C.D. Mangrum. Oh, Mercado.
Was that almost 3 wide?
Almost was. I think the 41 might have had an issue there coming off of 4.
Well, you said he'd hit a wall previously, so I wonder if maybe he was just kind of compounding that.
Heaney and Binns are going at here 1 lap down for the 10th position. Oh man, Heaney got loose off the corner. Mercado in the wall again.
Cool.
Oh, Marini slides up the track in front of the 41.
Yikes.
Things getting a little tight.
Yeah, a little bit hairy here.
And we might potentially have a battle for the lead here soon between the 0 and the 17 familiar foes. Almost 3/10 separating the two. That 17 is going to get some good draft down the back straightaway. And on the front straightaway as well. Lots of speed by him. Oh, I think he might have tapped the wall there.
Well, yeah, you see it's really those two have pulled out that gap so quickly here. Macaulay looks like he could be almost a dog trying to find a bone here. Just trying to close that gap every little bit.
We'll see if Wilson will be able to catch up in that number 21 Johnny Walker Toyota. Maybe try to put a blanket over the top 3 eventually. Everywhere else looking relatively stable so far, so we'll keep our attention here to see if the 17 will be able to get side by side with the 0 eventually. Now on lap 134 of 200.
Yeah, pretty much 2/3 race distance here now, Reeves, and Outside of stage points, the ones that really matter, absolutely nothing is decided yet. Like, yeah, we got a few cars that are still a lap down, but there's still time for things to get a little weird.
Only a tenth or so separating these two. Adam Wilson trying to catch up at a second back. But right now, we might as well take the time here to thank some of the following sponsors and partners for supporting the Canadian E-Motorsports Network. Kyle's Fried Chicken and Barbecue, of course, the title sponsor for the NASCAR Series here in Season 5 on iRacing. Rampage Coffee Co., Piping Kettle Soup, Forked River Brewing Company, of course, being the title sponsor for tonight's event. Bangarang Hard Seltzer, Nordic Aluminum, GSGSG Vinyl 3D, GTR, and of course, TrackCams22.com. They provided us with these cameras that you see every week here in the NASCAR Series on iRacing. We might as well kind of do a show don't tell of this big battle for the lead between Kalini and Macaulay. It's time for a good old TrackCams22.com. Crank it up. You saw it all right there, folks, on the TrackCams22.com. Crank it up in an incredible battle for the lead between the 17 and the 0. You saw McCauley make his way back to the lead. Meanwhile, the 0 really starting to show struggles as Adam Wilson was starting to catch up to them. And now he's going to go side by side down the back straightaway into 3 for the second spot. Kalinian continuing to struggle. Wilson looking to take advantage. And he will clear him for second, and now he's going to charge his way towards the veteran. A pair of rookies right there for second and third. Now we're going to see at the 21 we'll be able to continue his momentum towards the 17 with now 50 laps to go.
Yeah, it was a great battle to be able to observe during that crank it up. You saw Wilson just making that gap disappear between himself and
Belmonte. Where did he come from?
Okay, yeah, showtime here.
You were saying
the 6 finds some pace. Go ahead.
You were saying they're behind the scenes a 3-horse race, potentially a 4 now.
Yeah, Belmonte just kind of broke away from that secondary pack. I don't know where he found
the pace.
Kalinian
slides up into the outside wall. Ooh. Really struggling now.
Yeah, it almost seems like the 0 is just kind of holding on for dear life right about now.
Belmonte to the inside of Wilson for the second spot. McCauley about a half a second ahead of them. Belmonte will clear the way for second. Was I hearing struggles?
Do we need to check for like a NOS tank under the 6 in a post-race inspection, or what are we looking for here? He is just flying.
I think I might have even heard a reaction. I think that explains it all. Man, he's fast.
Yeah,
and going for the lead.
Oh, he'll take it. Like, yeah, there it is. Like, that's academic the way Belmonte's just slicing through.
Oh, will the 17 try to cross over? No, may have given him a bit of a bump. But the number 6, Justin Belmonte, to the race lead for the first time tonight. How about that?
Man, oh man. Well, I think he might have had it briefly during the pit stop window, but we're talking like full-on competitive lead.
Competitively, yeah. Whoa, man, the 17 slid up in 4, almost into the left rear of Jason Butler. Very close call.
Yeah, and yeah, that would have been a tough one to take, I think. Like, yeah, nobody's meaning anything malicious, obviously, but obviously that is some of the peril of navigating through lapped traffic as Wilson comes in. Did McCauley come in as well?
No, it's just Wilson. Yeah. No, but well, I mean, maybe it looks slow because the number 6 is already a second ahead of him.
Yeah, where is this pace coming from for Justin Belmonte? It's impressive.
So we'll see what Adam Wilson's going to do here, as I think Higginbottom's also... Yeah, Higginbottom's now going to make his way down, so a pair of Tornado Alley guys on pit road. Wilson's going to go for the right sides. Is he going to go for 4? He will.
I mean, 80-lap stage, you'd have to think it's almost academic that they're all going to go for 4, depending on what they have in reserve, and we've seen guys take 2 tires, no tires, so that shouldn't be an issue realistically here.
Higginbottom's going to go for the right sides. He will go for all 4 tires. Mike Marini now going to make his way down, well, 2 laps down. Now with 41 laps to go.
And Belmonte pitting.
So Belmonte's going to pit from the race lead. Now we'll see if he's able to keep his pace up. Fingers crossed that there are no issues on pit road, though. Darcy Ford's going to make his way down. Now 6 cars remaining on the lead lap.
Yeah, that number's going to fall a little bit more, though. Of course, whenever the leader himself comes in this case, now Jordan Kalinian getting it back, obviously that will have the ripple effect once he completes his stop, and we'll be back to normal.
Belmonte goes for all 4 tires. McCauley now on pit road.
Again, you would think 4 tires would be academic here.
Yep. So 4 tires for, I believe, Andy Hurdle as well. I'd imagine Jose Mercado too.
Yeah, and it looks like Mangrum is in pit lane now from second.
So that's going to give Jordan Kalinian the race lead. The number 1 Nordic Aluminum Toyota. We'll see what he decides to do. Bryce Fountain and Kyle Knoll also on pit road.
Yeah, it's another trip for the 15. He's had admittedly more trips to pit road than he would have liked, to say the very least. Again, stage 2, kind of where everything became unraveled for the 15.
Kalinian is the only car on the lead lap.
Yeah, and well, until now with Ireland getting his lap back.
And yeah, as I was saying
that.
that.
De facto race leader.
Jason Heaney and Trevor Binns now on pit road. This will be interesting to look at here as McCauley, in the wall there off of 2, but side by side with Belmonte.
Yeah, and those two have had their clashes as well. Well, clash, pardon the pun, but Daytona and Auto Club last year, the 2 openers on the iRacing side of things, it was these two 1-2. Belmonte came out 1 in both of those encounters.
So do note here, laps since last pit, Kalinian and Ireland still have yet to. Everybody else has made their stops. So right now, for the win, it's going to be Adam Wilson versus Corbin McCauley by the looks of it. Belmonte in behind them. Then there's Ty Higginbottom. But a second or so separating the 21 and the 17. Very quickly approaching 30 laps remaining here in the Forked River 200 at Dover Motor Speedway, round 6 of 22. Adam Wilson going for his first career win in the series. It's been a hell of a season, a hell of a start to his NASCAR Series career thus far, with many top 10s and a couple top 5s. Yes, Jordan Kalinian's now going to make his way onto pit road. We'll see what he decides to do here. We'll see where he comes back out and cycles alongside the other lead lap cars. Kalinian's going to go for all 4.
Yeah, may as well just kind of go for that run to the end effectively. And he's going to do it on tires that, in relation to Corbin McCauley, roughly half a dozen laps fresher. So maybe that comes into play at the end. Who knows? Obviously, we saw Kalinian have his troubles early on in stage 3, but we'll see if he's able to right the ship here in the last 30-ish laps.
We're coming to 29 laps to go now as Wilson trying to hang on over McCauley, but the 17 really catching up to him now. 2 tenths separating the rookie and the veteran. Into 1 and 2, that 17 diving it in down low. Lots of momentum. Justin Belmonte following in behind, about a second back of the 17, so that pace has fallen off, but still plenty of racing remaining. We'll see if the 17 will hopefully be able to keep his tire wear stable, though, while trying to battle the 21 and then take the lead eventually.
Yeah, we'll have to see. There's a 4-lap difference in tire life between Wilson and McCauley in favor of the 17. Seems early to be talking about that, given we're only a dozen or so laps removed from the pit window. But if it takes, maybe the cars come to life in different windows, and Corbin McCauley, he might be looking to take full advantage of this particular tire advantage that he's got.
Jared Ireland on pit road. He'll more than likely be going 2 laps down soon. It looks like Ryan O'Toole might be out of this race. He is not showing up on the leaderboard. Hello, Monster. So we'll await further information on that as the laps go on, though, but we're coming to 25 laps to go in the Forked River 200. It looks like Wilson might be slowly extending the gap now between him and the 17, as McCauley was looking to be catching up really fast. They were about 0.2 or so in separation, but now it's about 4.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of a conservation play here for McCauley as well, in the event that it does stay green, which again, find the closest piece of wood it has to this point. But I mean, how many times we've spoken about the consistency of Adam Wilson, and he finds himself at the head of the field now, and you mentioned him being from Delaware himself. And, as you said, maybe a couple straight weekends of guys winning their home state races wouldn't be unheard of. And obviously for Wilson, that would be a big step in suggesting that he's officially arrived as a contender, as we see Mercado coming in.
Without a front end.
I'm not Sherlock Holmes, but I think that means something happened.
Oh, no.
Oh! Yeah, just loses it out of 4. Hard hit.
And luckily no one
goes.
Luckily no one else caught up in that one. We stay green, as down the back straightaway we will be coming to 20 laps to go in tonight's race. Wilson 0.3 ahead of McCauley. Justin Belmonte, though, is really catching them now, 0.6 back. He was about a second and a half or so behind them a couple laps ago. And then Ty Higginbottom is a second and a half back of him. And then there's Magram almost 2 seconds back of him. Oh, man.
So if Belmonte comes back and wins this, that has to be one of your first questions, is where in the world did he find his pace in stage 3? Because he's just blown everybody away whenever he's had the opportunity. Whenever the car's been in that right window, it's been, 6, just, I'd say, on another level here.
It's a 3-horse show here with 18 laps to go. Here comes Justin Belmonte in the number 6. You can put a blanket over these 3 cars here through turns 1 and 2. We're going to be paying all attention here on these 3 cars going for the win. Wilson looking for that first career win. Belmonte hasn't won in a very long time here within the NASCAR Series. McCauley already has 2 wins this season. Side by side. Oh, contact!
Oh! Oh! Caution.
Oh. Going for the second.
Going to be a very interesting look.
Going for the second position. Contact between the 6 and the 17 into 1. And that'll be our first incident-related caution of tonight's race with 17 laps to go. Man, oh man, does this ever shake things up. And again, remember Phoenix. We went through that whole thing like with a couple incidents, no cautions. And then at the very end, we finally got one in the most odd circumstances, but
Indeed.
man, oh man, what a trend we've been having this season. Good Lord.
So both guys kept going. Okay, let's see how this is going to turn out. Okay, so yeah, let's take another look. Because, I mean, Belmonte was absolutely blistering this Dover Speedway here. He absolutely had the run. Let's see. Oof.
Again, it's all about angles with this.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's why, you know, we're not the quickest to make judgments, perhaps. Yeah, unquestionably contact, though.
Okay, so we'll get a bit of a slow motion going on here. You saw the 21 almost getting loose there off of 4. And then you could see there the 17, it could have been almost 3 wide. So, like, Belmonte came up a little there. 17 came down a little. Like, it's... And again, it's hard to say this stuff, too, because obviously drivers will have their own opinions as well.
Oh, I mean, you don't have to look far. They do. Unfortunate both ways. I think we can universally agree on that.
Yeah, professionally, universally speaking, we will say that was definitely not ideal for either driver.
Ooh.
Man, oh man, does that ever shake things up, though.
It sure does. Well, does it really? McCauley remains second.
But Justin Belmonte, on the other hand, not showing up on my screen.
It looked like on the leaderboard he dipped down to 12th.
No. I mean, like, his name, like, is, like gone. Like, it's color over. That's what I mean. Because Ryan O'Toole in 21st, 31 laps down, like, he's pretty much out. Belmonte might be. Oh, Belmonte disconnected. And very interesting thing to keep an eye on here. If I can get proper replays here. Look at this. Adam Wilson and Ty Higginbottom. Wilson and Higginbottom are the only cars on fresh tires up front.
Well, we saw in stage 2 that they had a stop where they did not take tires, so they had the set available for potentially this exact situation.
So it's going to be a 12-lap shootout with 2 cars here out of this top 8 that are on the lead lap with fresh tires. And we know how fast and consistent Wilson's been. Higginbottom, on the other hand, he has been up there in the top 5 and the top 10, but just winning-wise, not exactly. But that could definitely change here on this restart with C.D. Mangum and Corbin McCauley on the front row. Andy Hurdle looking to make a surprise here. Jordan Kalinian up high on him. And then a familiar veteran to Hurdle and Darcy Ford there right behind him.
Tonight's pole sitter.
Man, oh man, is this ever going to get exciting here? We'll see what happens. Mangum and McCauley will lead the field back to green. 13 laps to go in the Forked River 200. It's going to be side by side in a 1 and 2 between the 1 and the 17. Mangum's going to clear the way, though. But watch Wilson make the jump up on those fresher tires. Higginbottom will try to as well.
Yeah, I think advantage 21 and 97 here if they can find the space.
Wilson's going to try to get to the inside of Kalinian here through 1 and 2. They were able to get through there successfully. Wilson going to try to clear.
Got a really good run out of 2.
Wilson's going to clear the way. Kalinian drops back behind. Now the 21 is going to go at it against the 17. As I think Kyle Knoll might have had an issue back there.
Yeah, those tires, like, this is night and day here. Adam Wilson just absolutely clearing at the moment.
Wilson over past the 17 now, coming to 9 laps to go. It'll be Tornado Alley guys going at it here. Will we try it? They're going to try and have a top 3 for Tornado Alley, even almost 3 wide here going into 1. 17 slides up, 0 as well. Wow, close call. Oh. Close action there. Wow. Through turns 1 and 2, the 97 takes over both.
How was there no contact in that?
The 97 takes over both of them. And we're going to have a top 3 here of Tornado Alley, guys.
Yeah, and again, it's just a matter of, you know, if Higginbotham can fire up those fresh tires and catch up to Mangrum and Wilson, hey, look out here as Wilson makes the move for the lead.
Adam Wilson to the race lead now with 7 laps to go. Ty Higginbottom, though, is not into this entirely just yet. We'll see if he'll be better on the fresher tires here into turns 1 and 2. Catching up very fast to CD Mangrum. Meanwhile, the 17 falling back as Darcy Ford moves up to 5th. And there goes Higginbottom past Mangrum. So with 6 laps to go, it'll be the 2 guys on the fresher tires going for the win. Johnny Walker and I don't know what else is. Yeah, Blue Label versus U.S. Air Force going for the Forks River 200 win.
Well, I mean, Johnny Walker's tagline for the longest time was just simply keep walking. I think Adam Wilson wants to, you know, sprint this one out to the finish as the laps just keep ticking away.
And again, after that incident, no surprise the 17 is dropping back here. Oh, no! Contact with Marini!
Oh!
Marini goes around, collects other cars.
How are we green?
We're still green with 5 laps to go.
How did that happen? I was going to say, Marini's front end would like a word with whoever's operating the flags.
Yeah, and Jared Ireland was caught up in that one with front end damage, but somehow no caution. 3 laps to go for Adam Wilson.
Jeez, yeah, Wilson, I mean, he's in the driver's seat here, for lack of a better term. Just, you know, that's the benefit of the restart as well. Clear track ahead of him. Doesn't really have to worry about lap traffic right now.
Jared Ireland down on the apron into turns 3 and 4. Marini in his pit box.
What in the world?
I was saying earlier, stages 1 and 2 pretty much just go calm, and then stage 3, kaboom.
Well, it absolutely did.
White flag in the Forked River 200 here at Dover Motor Speedway for the number 21 of Adam Wilson, the Laurel, Delaware native, looking to make it 2 weeks in a row where it's the hometown hero getting the win through 3 and 4. It's going to be another first career win this season, and this time it's going to go to the Laurel, Delaware native, the number 21, Adam Wilson, victorious at Dover.
Yeah, and I mean, again, the consistency got rewarded. It's something that we've spoken about in the rookie standings here as well. Like the fact that Wilson's been there, but in Kalinian, you know, he was right there with the 1 victory. Now Wilson's got that on even terms, you know, just strong all the way through. Ultimately, that option to go for no tires in stage 2, that made all the difference, because he and Higginbotham, they were ready for this situation. And You know, you see a Tornado Alley full sweep of the podium here.
It's been a hell of a season for this team thus far. Again, going into the season, Ty Higginbottom was the lonely driver back in Season 4 in that familiar number 97. But then the team was able to bring in hot shot C.D. Magrum for his third season in the series. And then they brought in Adam Wilson, the rookie, a bit of an unknown, but he made an immediate impact here within the NASCAR Series. And lo and behold, if we did have team standings, which at some point I am kind of curious to know if I were to mathematically put it all together, what it would turn out to be like. And I can only imagine Tornado Alley would be probably destroying the field. Man, oh man, what signings they were by the team and Higginbottom. And they have seriously proven it so far here through 6 rounds. And so now Wilson's going to join Higginbottom in the 5th annual Earl Ross Cup Playoffs with a win. Magrum still is yet to get that first win of the season, but he'll definitely be long overdue for one soon. And I mean, judging by where he is currently in the playoff picture, he is well on his way to gaining a spot, whether it's with a win or not.
Yeah, and I mean, again, there's something to be said for the Tornado Alley performance here tonight, and obviously headed by Adam Wilson, the Delaware native, as you said. Laurel found in Sussex County within Delaware, and I'll show the pro wrestling card here a little bit. That's also the home area of the formerly, well, the kind of well-known independent tag team back in the day known as the Briscoes, as the three of the, I don't know if that's PG, boys. Anyway, I was about to say, one of their trademarks was to call themselves Dem Boys. Well, Tornado Alley eRacing are looking like Dem Boys here in the NASCAR Series this season.
Oh, that noise is just beautiful.
Do you think he's got the SpongeBob Sweet Victory song playing in his ears? Probably not.
Well, there's one thing for sure. These guys just gave me an absolutely perfect opportunity for pictures.
They did, and something that shouldn't be lost in this podium here, that's 6 straight top 5s for C.D. Magrum. You want to talk about consistency on Adam Wilson's side of things, the one shouldn't go unnoticed by any stretch of the imagination here either.
Indeed. So, with all that being said here, before we get to the unofficial results, might as well see if we can get the post-race winner interview here with Adam Wilson.
Almost had it.
All right, and I guess if I think of anything, that'll come on Facebook as usual, Reeks.
For sure. Is Adam Wilson still here in the server? Indeed, he is in here. Adam Wilson, the number 21 Tornado Alley eRacing Toyota from Laurel, Delaware. 2 weeks in a row where we have the hometown driver visit victory lane. And again, this is the second time now within 3 weeks where we have a first-time winner within the NASCAR Series. Adam, man, oh man, what a hell of a start it's been to your Canadian eMotorsports Network career here thus far through 6 races. Many top 10s, a couple top 5s, but now your first career win, man. Definitely overdue knowing how you've been doing so far. What does it mean to finally be here in victory lane at your home track?
It's awesome, man. Finally got it off my back, especially the home track. Not the first one off. It's pretty cool. 1, 2, 3 for Tornado Alley, too. That's pretty awesome. Thought we had the wrong strategy for a while, stage 1 and 2. Luckily, we stayed on the lead lap, saved a set at the end, and me and Ty definitely benefited from it, and worked out.
For sure, man, for sure. And just again, too, as you said, with Tornado Alley sweeping the podium there, man, I must imagine you're pretty thankful to be on such a team like that, knowing how you guys have been doing so far this season. What did it mean to come along and join Higginbottom and Magram in this whole effort? And what does it mean to, what does it mean to be a part of this whole Tornado Alley effort here so far? Just knowing how it's been going, and again, like successful, like that. The term successful is pretty much an understatement.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I've raced with Ty and CD for a while in other leagues before this, and then got a chance to join CEMSN after me being 2 years working on night shift, and finally got an opportunity to be back in the league. It's cool. It's how I relax, what I enjoy doing, and get that win's pretty awesome. And do it with these two, makes it more cool.
For sure. And now Jordy's got a couple of questions here. The first one relating to the race. He asked, was it always the plan to go no tires in Stage 2 to save for the situation that eventually unfolded at the end?
Stage 1, it was always the plan. Then I seen how close we were to getting lapped, some of the cars that were on the same strategy. So Stage 2, I was counting, seeing where everybody was, how late they were pitting, and then I came out with just gas and seeing I could make it. So I had to do some math in the middle of the race. Once I knew I was good in 2, all I needed was 1 caution, and me and whoever was on that strategy was, tires here is key. Can't win without them, and so yeah, that's what I did, and it worked out in the end.
Indeed it did. And his second and final question is, you've been a model of consistency so far to begin your first season here within the NASCAR Series, powered by Kyle's Fried Chicken and Barbecue. He asks, what's been the most important factor to that success up to this point?
Honestly, you can practice as much as you want, test drive or whatever. Until you get into that race, you don't know what the car is 100% going to do. So I'm not going on either race, haven't gone all out until later on in the race, kind of let the race come to me and know what I need from the car, how to save tires and all that, and that's basically how it's worked. I always seem to come back at the end, even when I start off like junk on some of the races I have. Like Stage 1, I finished 8th and almost a lap down, but it worked out in the end. Finally got the strategy right, and that's all I needed to do.
For sure, man, for sure. And considering now you have this opportunity here as the race winner, who would you like to thank for supporting you along the way and just kind of, I suppose, giving you an opportunity to come out every single Tuesday night now for this 5th season of NASCAR racing? And just, like, who would you like to thank for being able to come on out here and get the job done?
Well, like I said, I already touched on it. Ty, CD, we've raced a while, and they gave me the opportunity after I got off night shift, came to day shift. They waited for me. They've been asking me to join leagues. Finally got off night shift and got the opportunity. Racing with them is awesome. But also give a shout out to Justin. He had us at the end there, and then him and Corbin got tangled up, or I think he would have won the race. So shout out to him. He had the long run car of the day, but sometimes it don't work out that way. But so glad to win, and I'll take him anyway and get him.
Absolutely. And now looking, one more question here. Looking forward to the rest of the season. Just talk about what your opinions are on just the schedule itself, the parity of different tracks. Obviously we added in more road courses and short tracks compared to last season. And, to conclude this month, we go to North Wilkesboro, yet again, another short track there. Just talk about what you look forward to for the rest of the season, how you're going to continue to progress through, how you'll try to get a couple more wins, continue to have success with Tornado Alley, and just talk about the overall driver parity that there is throughout the field.
Like I said, just take it one race at a time. The schedule is so massively different. You're going to have different guys having good races each and every week. Like some guys that might run mid-pack or further back, they'll shine at one track that the pieces of their driving skill better. But like I said, in this league, iRating doesn't matter. Y'all do a good job of giving us that hour practice, the practice before the race, and everybody tunes their car, and qualifying's tight every week. One little slip up, you could be going for pole back to double digits. So it's fun, highly competitive, and like I said, just glad to be in the league again, especially on iRacing. It's pretty cool.
And we're certainly glad to have you, Adam Wilson. That was your post-race winner interview with the winner of the 2024 Forked River 200 here at Dover Motor Speedway. Round 6 of 22 goes to the rookie for Tornado Alley E-Racing, the hometown hero from Laurel, Delaware, the number 21 Toyota of Adam Wilson. Adam, once again, congratulations on the win, and we'll see you next week. Maybe you'll try to go for 2 in a row at North Wilkesboro. And so there you have it right there. Jordy, you're free to come back in, as now we're going to take a look here at our unofficial results for tonight's event. Of course, Adam Wilson getting the win. Ty Higginbottom, C.D. Magrum sweeping the podium there for Tornado Alley, of course. Jordan Collini in 4th. Darcy Ford, the pole sitter, comes home in 5th. Not too shabby of a return after missing last week's race at Kansas. Andy Hurdle, 6th. Corbin McCauley was in the running there for the win, but contact there with Justin Belmonte at the end. And then, of course, there was some issues there with Mike Marini, Jared Ireland, and a couple others. He was able to salvage a 7th place finish. Jason Heaney with back-to-back top 10 finishes. Awesome race there for him. Great performance. Was consistent in the top 10 through 12-ish or so all night long. And how about that? It says Jordan Beatty, but it's Chase Beatty getting his first top 10 of the season. A very, very quiet and underrated performance right there by him. And then Charlie Sears, how about that for him? He scores a top 10 here tonight. And then rounding out the rest of the field, another one too. Bryce Fontaine scores an 11th place finish in his first start here within the series. So a lot of fantastic finishes for some of our rookies, of course. Trevor Binns follows in behind in 12th. Tom Janikowski with another top 15 finish. That's 6 weeks in a row for him in 13th. Jared Ireland, 14th. He was also in the running for a potential win, but there was some unfortunate luck there towards the end. Kyle Noel was also in the running. He finishes 15th. Mike Marini was on pace for a potential top 10 or 15, but was caught up in some late shenanigans there. He finishes 16th. Mark Ouellette, 17th. Jason Butler, 18th. Justin Belmonte. Also, that pace that we saw there at the end from him was incredible, but bad luck just on his end too as well. And to round it all out, Jose Mercado in 20th. And man, oh man, the bad luck just continuing for the 16 of Ryan Toole. Man, oh man, Jordy, I'm just going to put it right back to our faces. Hang on. What the heck was that?
I mean, to be real with you, Riggs, I think it was actually more disciplined than either of us were expecting. So that's the major positive to take away from tonight. Tonight just boiled down to brilliant strategy. I mean, you're talking about how both Adam Wilson and Ty Higginbotham, they were able to save that extra set. You can't be too careful in in an environment where speed kills, really. You can't be too careful, as I said before, and, to have that extra set in reserve for that final caution, ultimately that made the difference for that kind of 10 to 12 lap sprint at the end. And hey, here we are. We've got another first-time winner. We had great battles all the way. Well, I shouldn't really... That might be a bit of an exaggeration. It seemed like things were kind of spread out, but toward the end, business picked up as we kind of expected from Dover. And hey, I think we got ourselves a good race here overall.
Yeah, I was going to say, quote, this might differ with the drivers, but quote unquote, saving the best for last.
Yeah, I mean, depending on who you ask, like you say.
Yeah, that's the thing. It depends on who you ask, though. But yeah, again, the storylines out of this one tonight. Tornado Alley, sweeping the podium. Adam Wilson, first career win. All that, like, we saw the pace there, the battles from Justin Belmonte, Corbin McCauley, Jared Ireland being up there, Kyle Knoll even surprising as well. Darcy Ford scoring the pole and a top 5 finish. Chase Beatty, top 10. Charlie Sears, top 10. Bryce Fontaine was one position short of a top 10. Tom Janikowski, 6 top 15 finishes in a row. Man, oh man. And the thing is, too, most of those storylines came out of the third stage alone. Like, again, it's that trend that we've been seeing over the past couple races and the past season. Stages 1 and 2 might go through just fine, but then everyone just seems to save it for the end. And that's certainly what the monster from the Monster Mile did.
Yeah, I mean, the monster was there, and it wasn't Halloween, so there was no Monster Mash, but hey, a monster memory here. It has to be said. And, welcome back after 3 years away.
Indeed. And then there's next week where North Wilkesboro.
Yeah, I mean, at least we did it last year on the iRacing side of things. You said that was the throwback last year, I believe, correct?
Yeah, that is correct. The throwback race for this season will instead be at Rockingham Speedway on June 25th to conclude the regular season. So we'll still be getting some of those regular paint schemes. Maybe a couple guys will try to maybe have some fun. It doesn't matter. But yes, next Tuesday night on April 30th, we'll be going short track racing at North Wilkesboro Speedway for it'll be the GSGSG Vinyl 3D 150. I'm just trying to check some of the lap and mile counters. Of course, 200 miles it's going to be, or 150 miles, sorry, 200 laps. It's going to be 2 weeks in a row of 200 laps. Charlotte Motor Speedway as well is going to be another 200 lapper on May 14th. So 3 of the next 4 races are going to be 200 laps in total, 2 of them being on a short track, of course. So to conclude the month, one more short track race, and then we get the month of May where it's pretty much just a freaking roller coaster with road course, intermediate, short track, if we go by the title, quote-unquote super speedway, and then another road, and then an international road course. So it's like, man, oh man, things are about to get absolutely feisty here within the Canadian eMotorsports Network NASCAR Series, powered by Kyle's Fried Chicken and Barbecue. Jordy, do you have any final thoughts to give out for tonight's race, moving forward towards next week, and just what the playoff picture might even look like moving forward?
Well, there's never a dull moment, is there?
No.
Again, we might have expected some earlier fireworks here tonight, but hey, they showed up when it counted. They were the main event there late in the third stage. And obviously, if anyone knows me by now, I've started to do some in the background math. So yeah, things are, tightening up a little bit playoff wise. Maybe, a little bit more breathing room around the bubble, but the way some of these drivers who are trying to catch up have been performing the last couple of weeks, game on. And again, with the variety of tracks we're looking at over really the next 6-7 weeks, nothing is for certain yet. Not by any means.
Indeed. So, including tonight, the past 4 races, we have seen different winners with 2 first-time winners as well. And actually, as a matter of fact, we should note that technically speaking, if we were to count the dual races and the Atlanta Clash for in the preseason, Adam Wilson actually now has 2 career wins. So, and I guess the duels technically were points paying, technically, but regular season wise, in the history books, Adam Wilson, the first career win here at Dover Motor Speedway. Again, 2 weeks in a row where the hometown hero gets the job done, and this time around, it's a rookie for Tornado Alley eRacing as the whole team sweeps the podium in the 2024 Forked River 200 at Dover Motor Speedway for round 6 of 22. So, moving on from tonight, round 7 of 22 to conclude the month of April. Next Tuesday night, April 30th, with live coverage beginning just past 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 8:30 p.m. Atlantic here on the Canadian eMotorsports Network YouTube channel. It will be the GSG-SG Vinyl 3D 150 at North Wilkesboro Speedway. So we will see you all then for another live production of Canadian eMotorsports Network Racing, NASCAR Racing, powered by Kyle's Fried Chicken and Barbecue for Season 5. So on behalf of the entire network, myself, Regan McCauley, the play-by-play guy from Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island, and then on the other side, he's been here since the very beginning, on the other side of the country in Alberta, Canada, Jordy Caraher, the competition committee for the network, staff, sponsors, partners, and everyone involved within the network. We'd like to thank each and every one of you for tuning in to tonight's action at Dover Motor Speedway. We will see you all next Tuesday night for some more short track racing at North Wilkesboro Speedway. Take care, everybody. Have a good night. We hope you enjoyed tonight's race. And once again, congratulations to first-time winner, regular season speaking, point speaking, whatever you want to call it, Adam Wilson for Tornado Alley eRacing.